Hey guys, Editing Phineas here. I just wanted to give a little disclaimer before you go in that this video is much more of an audio log and the visuals aren't going to be as good as my usual video essay fare. It's much more because I want to get these thoughts out to you guys because I think you'd have fun with them. And I'm proud of you, and yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to Flicky Quickie. I wanted to make a smaller review show to go when I don't have a full video essay at completion because A, I think it would be fun, and B, it's a good chance to talk about things I'm not going to get a chance to talk about normally in a full essay or to hear original thoughts before I go more in depth into a full essay. Basically, you get to hear more of my thoughts because the only purpose of the internet is sharing all your gosh darn opinions. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So, Paddington is a film that before you watch it, you hear it's good, but you don't realize how good it's going to be. Honestly, when the film came out in 2014, young me thought, oh, generic live-action CGI hybrid or something. It was the time where I started not caring about family movies as I was about 13 back then, but I decided recently to watch the film after hearing good things from literally everyone that I've talked to and fell in love with it. Before I get further into the movie review, I do want to give you an official spoiler warning. I know most reviewers delay these warnings to when they get into spoilers, but I'm going to be openly talking about all of Paddington. It's on Netflix, so watch it yourself. It's genuinely one of the most wholesome and lovely films I've ever watched. On the Phineas rating scale, it's 10 out of 10, which is a pretty rare rating for the Phineas scale. As a film, Paddington starts off incredibly well. We get the backstory of the explorer who visited his aunt and uncle and discovered darkest Peru. Bears in the film love marmalade because, as one knows, a marmalade sandwich a day gives a bear all the nutrients they need. His family seems rather wholesome as well, given how they're gonna go to London soon. Everything is going great until a storm comes. No worries, they're bears, they can survive. Holy heckerim! Did that tree just kill his uncle? The film's pacing is really well done. You know everything that you need to know rather quickly, and it's so wholesome, and then whoosh, Paddington goes to London. In London, Paddington quickly meets the Browns, a rather standard on the outside family with a ton of depth that gives them all some really fun moments. The Browns take Paddington in, at least until he can find another family, and then house shenanigans ensue. Each of the sequences that go through these shenanigans are really fun, and it's just really cool seeing things build up. Particularly the bathtub scene is just one of the funniest things. And honestly, this movie handles the fish out of water trope so well by giving us the most wholesome bear out of jungle you could ever get. As Paddington's in London, he tries to track down the explorer who found darkest Peru, through more shenanigans throughout the city, including one of the best chase sequences ever set to film. Seriously, the little innocent misunderstandings are so much fun in this, and I love them. The escalator sequence in the train station is a lot of fun. At least I think it's a train station. I don't know, I'm not British. Things in the movie also intensify when Paddington comes into conflict with Millicent Clyde, a taxidermist who wants to stuff him. Which, side tangent, taxidermists are just always such fun villains for movies to have. Between her and sort of the villain in Madagascar 3, they're always just so hateable, and that's just such a perfect trait to bring from the real world into film, because, like, no one likes a taxidermist. So, the middle of the movie is pretty much a really great subversion of a lot of the misunderstanding tropes that happen in a lot of these kinds of movies. But the misunderstanding works here because, A, the intent of the Browns was to actually, like, get rid of him after the situation that happened that set their house on fire, and he wasn't a big dum-dum who misunderstood what they were saying, and B, it just feels very natural. Like, I feel like he would just try to do this for the betterment of everyone, because Paddington can do no wrong, and he's lovely. And this film just gets it right. The climax of the film has the Browns going in to rescue Paddington after he had gotten captured by the taxidermist following the misunderstandings, and every smaller detail of the plot comes back for the rescue. This climax is genuinely one of my favorites in cinema. Every character gets their chance to shine, the setting is gorgeous for a final scene, and the jokes all are working so well. It's so wholesome. Once they defeat the taxidermist, Paddington is permanently moved in with the Browns, and I love it. So, this is the part of the video where we're going to be seeing the bridge between the talking about the film much more as a standalone and much more the objective of its place in cinema, because I think that's something that's super important whenever you review a movie, because every movie's got such a unique place in cinema of what it represents, and I'm excited to show you guys what I think of it. Yeah, so I feel like with cinematic masterpieces, there's two sorts of case studies for it. Films that subvert genres and change the rules going forward. I think of that like Spider-Verse, how it changed the rules for animation, and The Truman Show, which definitely changed the way that dramas are looked at in the future and is amazing. But there's also films that perfect the tropes that previously existed. For example, Knives Out perfects the murder mystery genre of film in a way and kind of just redefines it. And I think Paddington fills this void for the live-action CGI hybrid film, because so many of the tropes that usually don't work fall into place so well here. Like, for example, the family, what words? Sorry guys, back on topic. The Brown family's father could have so easily just been the most unlikable person ever, but he's not. His overprotective nature is a bit justified, and it's nice seeing him learn to have some fun. So, the film that Paddington reminds me the most of is Elf. They're both really strong fish-out-of-water movies, and they have a lot in common that I think most fish-out-of-water movies can learn from. A lot of fish-out-of-water movies are making the fish out of water the character who grows, and that they need to learn about the world, or grow up, or need to learn that they're accepted. But honestly, I think the best fish-out-of-water movies tend to flip the formula. What does the world need to learn from said character? The Browns of the film grow a lot through their learning to accept this bear into their lives, and each of the dynamics get better by the end of the film, with a lot of the rifts that the family had ultimately patched up, and it's a really sweet twist, because while Paddington does become smarter in the real world, that's not, I think, a proper growth arc for a character. Now, back to a lot of live-action CGI hybrids. So many of these films take the approach of just showing characters in a world, and they're trying to learn to cope, but never as much has the world growing with the characters, and I mean this as growth, like nothing like Alvin and the Chipmunks, where setting the status quo and making the father feel like they have to reconnect each time with their children. These errors just are such a presence in these hybrids and should be stopped. So a few more quick thoughts to like wrap up the review and stuff. I love the aesthetic in this movie so much, from Paddington himself to also just the sets and the costumes. Everything feels so lovely and cozy, like you could turn this on and be like, aw, it's just a sweet time. Also, the acting is really great from every actor. There's a lot of like big names that are in this movie that I'm not going to mention because I forgot the names, but they do have big names, I guess. Just go watch Paddington. Like, no proper conclusion of this video. Live life, watch Paddington, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then watch Paddington again. You know, all the fun stuff. Thank you to everyone who's watching the first episode of Flicky Quickie. If you watch this episode to the end, comment that Marmalade gives a bear all the nutrients he needs for the day, but also, like, comment other films that you want me to cover, and thanks and have a great day. I appreciate y'all.